Well, we are 3 days past our average last frost date, and we had a hard freeze last night. Go figure. Okay. Well, like I said, we had a really bad cold front come through last night. It was 29 degrees when I woke up this morning. So now I was prepared for that. I knew it was coming. We had a frost or a freeze warning actually. So I had all the plants inside, no big deal. It's only going to get up to about 60 degrees today. So I went ahead and just put them back in the greenhouse and vented that. It's only supposed to get down to like 50 degrees tonight. So they should be fine to stay in the greenhouse overnight. What I wasn't prepared for is I had a big leak in my watering system here. I wondered why these guys were going through so much water. It seemed like I was filling up the water tank every other day, and I thought, good grief, that's a lot of water. And then I came out here and figured out this valve right here, it's not this one right here, it's the one I took off, it's in my pocket right here, was leaking. And I've taken it apart. It was leaking before I took it apart, which you can do. I tried to fix the little seal in there, the little O-ring that's around there, and put it back together. Still isn't working properly, so it's time to replace it. Here's the problem. I don't have any extra ones on hand. So usually I buy those things in bulk. I have a whole bunch of them, so I went in there to grab one and dug through the package. There's not a single one of them left. I guess I've used them all. These things only last for, you might get a year out of them before you got to replace one. Luckily, they're pretty cheap and easy to repair, or easy to replace, I should say. So I've ordered some, but they're not going to be until like Tuesday or Wednesday. So all that means is this one on the end is going to get watered in a bowl for the next couple of days. And what I did is I just took the, and instead of taking this one off and tying that up so it didn't leak, I replaced it with the one that wasn't leaking on the end so that I could have the end as the one that's all tied up. Hopefully that makes sense. I didn't want to have to tie this one up in the middle. I just did it at the end instead. So I tied that up so it's not going to leak out of the end there. And just put a bowl in the rabbit cage at the end there, so I'll be watering them in a bowl for the next couple of days, which is not that big of a deal. It could be a lot worse, but just goes to show I should have paid attention, should have had those extra supplies on hand. I do have a couple of extra water cups. If the water cups out for the quail start leaking or something goes wrong with those, I can replace those, but it's getting close to time where I should probably order some replacements for those too. Those tend to last a little bit longer, so I'm not as concerned about them, but still, always have that extra stuff on hand so I can fix these things really easily. What happened was, let me show you here real quick. So I don't know how well you can see that, but that is a little tub that catches the waste at the bottom of the rabbit hutches. and it is just completely full of water. The whole 5-gallon bucket basically drained into there a couple of times before I got this thing fixed. So again, not that big of a deal. It could be much worse. The biggest problem is now I've got to empty this big jug of water, but hey, I smartened up on that. Last time you guys told me, why didn't you just get a bucket and fish it out of there instead of trying to get the whole thing out of there? If you guys have been watching my videos for a long time, you know what I'm talking about. So that's what I did. I got a little bucket here that's just a waste bucket. So I'm gonna get my hands really dirty probably doing this, but this is much better. I can just, empty the water out here, take that out and dump it. So no sense in, I guess, you guys watching me do all this. But yeah, that's a much easier process than trying to lift that whole big tub. Oh, you guys can't even see me, can you? Let me adjust the camera. We'll show you what I'm talking about. It's probably self-explanatory. I probably didn't need to actually show you, but yeah, that's a much better process to empty this. So there, 1 gallon or 1 5-gallon bucket full. Go take this and empty it and do it over again probably 2 or 3 times before I'm completely, well, probably twice more before I got it down to a manageable size. Well, like I said, it's actually been pretty chilly here lately, so I'm kind of curious how these tomatoes in the jugs are doing. If you guys have been following the channel, you know I started these like 8 weeks ago, just planting them straight in the ground with a milk jug over the top of them, basically. Some of them sprouted, they were doing pretty good, but it's been so cold, especially like 30 degrees or 29 degrees last night. We've had a couple of hard frosts and a couple of freezes in between. Well, I think last night was the first hard freeze we had. So, I'm gonna check on them today, take you guys along with me. I haven't checked on them in a couple of days, so I don't know if they made it or not, if they're still doing well or not. We're gonna find out. If they did get damaged by the hard freeze last night, it'll probably be a couple of days before I know that, but let's go see how they're doing right now anyway. Okay, so not all of these sprouted, but this one did sprout. Hopefully, I'm not sure how well that's showing up on camera or not, but it looks like it is doing just fine, actually. Holding up really well. I'm pretty impressed with that, actually. Kind of surprised. Same thing here. I've got a nice big tomato plant inside this jug as well. Kind of hard to see, but... And this one as well. Looks like I got a couple of leaves. I don't know if you can see that. A couple of leaves, a couple of these seeds sprouted, so I got a couple of plants growing in there. A couple of leaves on one of them. Looks like it might be damaged a little bit. But the rest of them look like they're doing fine. Okay, now looking at the paste tomatoes, I only had 1 or 2 of these sprout really. And it seems to be doing okay. I can see a little damage on 1 or 2 of the leaves. I'm not sure if that's frost damage or not, or how well it's showing up on film. All right, well, a couple of these sprouted, a couple of them didn't. Like I said, this is an experiment I was doing this year to see how well it worked. I'm kind of impressed with the ones that did sprout. They're looking pretty good. Luckily I did start seeds, so I've got plants to plant if they don't make it, and the ones that didn't germinate. Not really sure, what this means. We had, let's see, 3 of the 4 jugs that I planted for the slicing tomatoes. That's the first 4 you see right here. 3 of the 4 actually had seeds germinate, multiple seeds germinate in each one, and plants start up in those. 1 of them did not, don't know why. On the end down there, I had 4 paste tomatoes, and only 1 of those jugs actually germinated and plants started in there. So I don't know what that means exactly. First year I've ever tried this, probably try it again next year, see how well it does. If these go, this is a super easy way to start tomatoes. I just put the seeds in the ground, stuck a milk jug over them, and walked away. I haven't watered them, I haven't done anything. I've just let nature take care of it. So far, it seems to be working. Not, fantastic results, but not bad. And I may get a couple of early tomatoes off these because they are a little bit bigger than the plants I started from seed and have in the greenhouse now, which is actually right here beside me. So we'll see. We'll see how the season goes, and if they do well and do as well as the ones that I started traditionally from seed in pots and are nurturing those along. We'll see how well that goes. I think I need to vent this greenhouse just a little bit more. It's very sunny out here. I get a little too warm inside there, but well, like I said, was prepared for the hard frost, was not prepared Did not have the supplies necessary to fix the watering system itself. It's not a huge deal, but it is a lesson learned that some of those things that are extremely important, it's good to have on hand. Like feed, for example. Make sure you stay stocked up on feed, which reminds me, I'm down to my last bag of quail feed, so I need to run and get some more. I'll probably do that later today, maybe next weekend, because I got time. It's not that big of a rush to get that. But it is better. Have that on hand. Don't wait till you run out and then have to go find it and have to scramble to get it. That's the important thing. I'm not the best about that sometimes. Sometimes I kind of rely too much on, well, I can just go get it whenever I need to. And, especially right now with the things going on, that's not always the case. Can't always just go and get things whenever you need them. So, again, lesson learned on my half. Hopefully you guys already know that lesson. You don't have to worry about it. Anyway, that's about it for me. Things are going pretty well here. Work has been incredibly busy again lately. So if I, can't make it to a live broadcast or I'm a little slow to respond to comments, I apologize for that, guys. I do try to get to every comment on there. I do try to do the live broadcast every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock Central, but sometimes life just gets in the way, which was what it was last week. Hopefully this week will be a little bit slower. Thank you guys for joining me today on this video. As always, God bless.